Welcome to the Christy Jones Show. This is your go-to podcast for living life to the fullest. I am a life and empowerment coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate. I am a woman passionate about helping others build a life that they truly desire. We'll talk about how to make the most out of every day, from setting meaningful goals to embracing the present moment. So join us as we explore the depths of living a life that is full of joy, purpose, and satisfaction. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back. I hope you're having another great week and you are back for another episode at the Christy Jones Show. Look, we're starting this year off like on fire together, right? Are you with me? Are you with me on that? I hope you're really with me. So let me backtrack just to remind you that I started off the year talking about how we're not going to hold on too tightly to the opinions of others that they might have about your life, your ideas, your business, whatever it is you're doing. And so I really walked you through how to rethink that. And then episode 45, I talked about habits and how habits aren't necessarily formed in 21 days. Like, you read about, you Google it, it says in 21 days, you're going to have a new habit. If you do this, well, I dive a little deeper into that and I give you some more realistic, really some more realistic timeframes. And I break it down as to what goes into a habit to really give you that long-term success. So that's episode 45. So today I'm building on that and I'm talking about your best self. So I really want to make sure that you're thinking about the right things and instead of just going through the motions. I talk about the whole autopilot thing, right? Like, you don't want to go through life on autopilot. You want to really move through with intention to make sure that you're building the life that you really want to live. So we're going to talk about today your best self, and I'm got a download in the show notes as a worksheet that you can download, you can print, and you can, when you're not listening to this and you get to a stopping point, it actually is going to walk you through some exercises so you can jot some notes down for yourself and really get a game plan for yourself if that's what you're wanting to do. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your best self and what that might look like for you. And how do you get those areas of focus when you're like, yeah, I really do want to level up some areas of my life, but I'm a little overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. Because that's where a lot of people are. Is they have good intentions, but they're a little overwhelmed with once you kind of go, oh God, there's a lot to that. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I normally do because that's easier. And while that might be easier, by the time we get 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you're going to have that same frustration set in, that same maybe disappointing feeling that, you really wished you would have taken action on some things. So I'm going to help you do that today. Okay. I'm going to give you some concrete things to consider, to think about. And like I said, go to your show notes, print that out when you're able to, and sit down and get a game plan for yourself. So your best self, the areas of focus, to improve the quality of our lives, we have to determine and get clear on what it is that we're wanting to make improvements or changes in. So if you're not clear on that and you're just like wishy-washy, that's what you need to focus on, is getting clarity. It's hard to make any adjustments if you don't have a flippant idea what it is that you're wanting to adjust. Maybe something just feels off, so you're not really sure what it is, but you just don't like the feeling that you're walking around in every day. So that's your indicator, right? That something's off. So maybe you're just at that point where I just need to get some clarity on what that is. So, or maybe you already know what that is, and maybe you're going to print this worksheet out and you're just going to just the stuff's going to fly out of your brain and right onto the paper because you already know what it is. You just need to kind of get some structure around the right steps or what is next to actually make that happen for yourself. All right. So we want to get clear on that. And in order to adopt new habits, to make those changes, like I talked about last week, you have to be clear. You have to be clear on what it is that you're wanting to make the changes on. So, what I'd like to do is for this worksheet to serve as a tool for you to really focus in on over the next 60 days and refer back to what you write down, refer back to the areas that you're wanting to make your changes in and improvements in, and you're really going to just dial in for the next 60 days. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to consider, and if you don't have the worksheet right now, like don't sweat it. Like, let's just talk this through. Okay. So you can get to that later, or you can pause and print it. But if you're just like, you're out on your walk, you're in the car, you're driving to work, whatever, like, let's just talk this through, and then you can circle back to that worksheet later. So let's get clear and let's think about together, what is the habit that you're wanting to change? Let's make sure that we've got the clarity on that. So, what is the habit? What is the thing that you're wanting to change, improve in, whatever word you want to put on it? So, let's get clear on that. So, let's spend some time when, and maybe that just came to you. You're like, I know, I don't even have to think about it, Christy. I know what it is. Great. That's fantastic. So you're ready for the next step. If you're not sure, I want you to spend some time with yourself and ask yourself that question. Let's get clear on what is that habit that you are wanting to make a change in? Maybe it is a different skill that you're wanting to learn. Maybe there's something new that you're wanting to learn. It's not necessarily a habit, but let's say your goal is, to be your best self right now. You're like, I really want to develop this new skill. I feel like it's really going to add a lot of value to my life. Let's get clear on what that skill is. What is that skill that you're wanting to learn? And if we can get really clear on that, it's going to be a lot easier to know what the next step is. So that's the first item of business. We've got to get clear. What's the habit you want to change, the improvement that you're wanting to make in a particular area, or what is the thing that you're wanting to learn or add in, or what is it that you're wanting to, take on and learn that you feel is going to add value to your situation and to your life. So that's the first part. To continue the process on getting to that more elevated level, that best self of what that is. And right now we're not talking like a 10-year plan route right now, you guys. Let's just look at the next 60 days. Let's think about something that we're going to focus on for the next 60 days, the next 2 months. Okay. I think sometimes I'll just say this. I think sometimes people, when you have something that's really far reaching, maybe it's something that's going to take more than 60 days. Maybe it's whether it's a habit or something you want to learn. I mean, it's a longer term. It's just got more moving parts to it. Sometimes when we automatically grip onto those, we just get overwhelmed because, gosh, that's going to take so long. So if you're new to implementing change, if you're new to implementing the habits, like I talked about last week in episode 45, then you got to give yourself a little more grace in this startup process, because just when you have a really big goal that you're working towards, you got to break that down into smaller chunks, because it's going to seem a little overwhelming. And that feeling alone might just like put you in that freeze mode, and then you don't do anything. Okay. So that's why let's just take something, an habit, something that you're wanting to improve in, or a new skill that you're wanting to learn, and add into who you are. Let's start with something like that right now. And so that can be a focus for the next 60 days, because I feel like anyone can jump in and say, the next 2 months, I'm really going to hone in on this. So I know you can do that. So the next thing I want you to consider and toss around in your brain is, what is it that you need to let go of in order to allow this new habit or to allow this improvement to come to the forefront of your life, what is it that you need to let go of? And I'm going to tell you right now that a lot of times it is also asking yourself, what is it that I need to start saying no to? What is it that I need to quit saying yes all the time? What do I need to say no to right now? That I have a really bad habit of just always saying yes. Yes, I'll do that. Sure, you can count on me to do that. And you just layer on everything. I did a podcast about that. I don't remember the episode number right now. I will look it up, put that in the show notes as well. But it was in November of last year, and it was mastering the art of saying no, because that is a very important skill to have, because you want to be able to speak honestly for yourself and also do it in a way that feels right to you. So I will put that in the show notes too. So ask yourself as you're starting to say, okay, this is what I want to do, what I want to change, a habit I want to make some changes on because I want to start moving towards my best self. So what do you need to let go of? And on the worksheet, there's a place for you to do some writing on that. So what do you need to let go of? What do you need to say no to? So I just went to a conference. I spoke at a conference actually. The Feminine and Rich Live 2024 in Houston. It was amazing. If you follow me on social, then you probably saw a lot of the highlights, and it really was such a great conference for women in business, women entrepreneurs. And the one full day was focused on personal development, and one full day was on business and strategy and all the things. And so one of the things I was really surprised when this question was asked and how many women in the room that this resonated with. But the question had to do with, are you very good at saying no, setting boundaries, of, protecting your time? And the majority of the room had raised their hand to say that that's a tough area for them. And I was surprised with the amount, with the caliber of women that were in the room. I mean, these are women that get crap done. I mean, they are doing huge things in their life, and they've got great businesses. And I was really surprised with the amount of women that raised their hands saying, yeah, I don't say no enough. I don't protect my time enough, my space enough. So I was really surprised on that. So really, I was like, I've got to talk about this more on the podcast and in my coaching, in the inner circle, the Flourishing Edge inner circle. I've got to make sure that we really focus on this. So what is it that you need to say no to more? Because when you say no to what isn't working for you, that doesn't align with you, that's just sucking the life right out of you, sucking the time right out of you, that opens up more space for what you can say, heck, yes. You can say yes to more when you say no more. Does that make sense? I know that didn't sound like, wait a minute, what did you just say? When you are able to say no more and feel okay in it, like saying no and feeling guilty, that's not going to work. I need you to be at a place where you can decline something, you can say no to something and feel okay about it, and not carry around that like, oh, I feel like a horrible person now because I said no. No. You don't do that. There's no need for you to be feeling bad about yourself because you said no. And you said no. Big deal. It's how now in that other podcast, I do explain, like, I give suggestions on ways to say that, ways to deliver that message. Instead of, and sometimes it can just be no. but sometimes there's more conversation or maybe a longer way, a different way of saying it to add some context to it. Um, but the main thing is you've got to master the ability and feel okay about it. Like, I'm giving you permission that if you're waiting for that, then granted, here it is. You can say no to anything at any given time. The more self-awareness that you have and understanding like how you choose to spend your time, your energy, and your resources, when that is more aligned with you and your values and your life, then you're not going to feel like a horrible person for saying no. I remember, this is years ago when my son was in school, and I was really involved in like the school and PTA things and whatnot. And I was going to, I don't know what they were called, like a board meeting, but it was a smaller group, and they asked you to sit on that committee, and then it would meet every so often during the day. And they would have it generally around the lunch hour timeframe, which worked with my job. And I was like, okay, yes, I can do that. But then when the meetings started getting very non-structured and the time frame was extending way beyond the original understood time that meeting would be, and it just became this very fluid, just kind of a hangout time, that didn't work for me. So I gave it some time to see if, things were going to change, if there was going to be more structure and stay on the timeline and stay on agenda and things like that. Because, like, you know, I'm using my hands because that's important to me. And I don't want to just sit in a room and hash things over for 2 hours. I just don't, that's just not, that doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't align with me. And I'm just not going to do that. We're going to have, it's going to make sense. It's got to stay on task. But just, I don't want to just hang out for 2 hours and just, shoot the crap. I just didn't want to. So when over some time, I don't remember how long that went on. It was months. But because it didn't start out that way, but it had gravitated to that change. And so I determined that that's not going to work for me anymore. And so I, let them know, thank you for inviting me and asking me to, be involved. But, by the time next month that the meeting rolls up, please fill my spot, because I won't be able to do that. This won't be it doesn't work for me anymore, and I won't be able to fill that seat anymore. So please feel free to find someone else to fill that spot. And that was that. Sometimes you get a little pushback for those situations, or you get that little blank stare. It's fine. I mean, that maybe you're declining something is a little bit of a shock or surprise to somebody, but they'll get over it. They'll be fine. I was confident they would find someone else better suited to sit in that spot other than me for the rest of the year. So my point is that you have to feel comfortable and confident in your ability to say no to certain things. That way, it opens up more space for you to say yes to what is better suited for you and what aligns with you. So I want to give you that permission to do that. So the next thing, think about what you need to let go of, what do you need to say no to, and really get clear on those things. And then let's think about, what do you want to spend more time doing? What do you want to add in? If you could spend more time doing whatever it is, what is that? Get clear on that. So when you start saying no and you let go of things that you really don't want to be doing, so why walk around and act like you want to do it? You don't want to. So just be honest. And then that's going to open up space for you to do more of the thing that you want to do, whether it's spend more time with your family, have time on a Saturday to, go do whatever your favorite activity is, whatever that is. But get clear on what is it that you would like to spend more time doing. And then here's my last takeaway on how you're going to start moving towards your best self over these next 60 days. I want you to I'm all about taking action. You guys know that. In fact, I think I spoke about that in last week's episode on the podcast, is that we can sit here and just learn things and take things in, but it doesn't matter unless you're going to do something about it. So I'm all about what can we do right now? Something we can take action on right now. So I would like, if you've printed the worksheet, or when you do print out this worksheet, 3 things that you can do this week to move in the direction of progress. So what are 3 things that you can do this week to move in the direction of progress? I want you to not finish this exercise until you decide what those three things are that you can do in a week. Take action, because that's going to build momentum and it's going to keep you going. So each week you need to identify 3 things that you can do that week to move in the direction of your progress. All right. I really hope that you take advantage of this worksheet, and this is going to get your creative brain going. And it's also going to empower you to really come up with some answers for, what do I need to get clear on? What exactly is it that I'm wanting to change? What is it that I need to say no to, that I'm currently saying yes to because I feel like I have to? My friends, you never have to say yes. Realize if you're saying yes, again, go back to the episode that I talk about the art of saying no. You are choosing to put yourself in that situation because you are, just own it. It's okay. I'm choosing to say yes to this. And I had to have those hard conversations with myself once upon a time. I can't sit around and act like everybody's doing this to me. I'm doing it to myself. I'm making these choices. I'm choosing to always say, yeah, I can do that. Sure, I'll do that. When I'm already filled to the rim, I'm already overscheduled. I went through that years ago. And what a great thing when I learned that I just learned the art of saying no. I learned that I didn't have to accept every single thing that came my way. Does it align with me? Does it move me in the direction of my goals? How does that, if I say yes, how does that make me feel? If I say yes, am I going to feel resentful? Am I really just saying yes so they like me? Am I just saying yes so they think I'm a good person? Right? Have you found yourself in that situation before? I had. I used to, for sure. And now I've gotten so, I would say, self-aware and connected to myself that that's not a big struggle for me anymore. I can say yes with confidence, and I can say no with confidence and feel really good in both of those. So let's really focus on 3 things that you can do starting this week that's going to move you towards your progress. All right, I know this has been really helpful. I know that the ability to say no is clearly something that women need to feel better in, and also to protect their space, meaning their time. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. right? We all get the same amount of time. So we've really got to be wise and use wisdom on what we say yes to and what we say no to, so that you can really keep being your best self and showing up as your best self. Because when you do that, when you are able to show up as your best self, that is when your life just lights up. When you are not showing up as your best self, it's like a dimmer switch on a light. You're just kind of like halfway on. It's like it's like dimmed down. But man, you flip that switch, it is like a whole nother level of living. Trust me. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, drop me a DM, send me an email, whatever it may be. As always, thank you for being here on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Send me your questions. I am going to start doing Q&As. So, collecting the questions, and then every so often I'll do a Q&A episode. So do send me your questions because I'm going to start weaving that in this year. And I'm excited to do that. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, go make the rest of your day fabulous. I will see you next week, and go make it a great day. And don't forget 3 things this week that you can do to make progress. So don't just absorb information. Let's actually put it into play. All right, I will see you soon, my friend. Take care.